How to create a habit tracker in Google Sheets. Today I'm creating a habit tracker in Google Sheets. Make sure to watch until the end so you don't make any mistakes. Okay, so the very first step is to open up Google Sheets and you're gonna click on create a blank spreadsheet over here. I'm using Google Sheets since it's free and you can access it from your phone or computer, which makes it super easy for me to at least update and track my habits. But you can also create a similar outcome in Excel. It's really up to you. So let's dive right in and set up a simple yet efficient habit tracker. I am going to start off by naming my sheet to habit tracker, and we'll continue by adding extra columns. I know approximately how many columns I'll need, but let me quickly show you how to do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the last column over here, this one. You're going to right click on it and here you're going to say insert one column to the left. So what this will do is it will add another column. So you're going to continue to do this until you reach the number of columns that you want to have. Now I'm going to do this until I have in total of 34 columns. So for your reference, the sheet has 26 columns by default. I just only needed to add 8 extra columns since I wanted to have in total of 38. So now that that's done, we're going to set up the tracker. So I'm going to the beginning to the column A and I'm going to start off by writing the month. I'll use January as an example here. And now what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to be writing the dates of the month January. So let me quickly do that. Okay, now that's done, I am going to come to this column over here and I'm going to name this total, meaning the total amount of the time I've done each habit this month. And here I'm going to name this column goal. So goal is literally the amount of time that I'm hoping to do this habit. So once that's done, I am coming back to the month over here and just underneath the months, I am going to be adding my habits. So I'm starting off with something super simple that I like to do every day, which is drinking a glass of water. So I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit so you can see this better. As you can see, there is an overlap for the word water. So how we tackle that is basically when you hover your mouse over to the column A, you'll see these arrows. Just pull it to the right and the cell will basically be kind of enlarged and nicely placed. And I'm going to continue to add my habit underneath this column. So the second one could be meditate, take vitamins. And one thing that I personally love to do is to add emojis to my habits. You of course don't have to do this. You can design yours however you like, but I want to show you how to do that. So to add an emoji, you're going to go to insert. Here you're going to see the section for emoji. Click on that. You'll see a bunch of different options you can choose from. I like to do a keyword search. So here I'm just going to search for water and then I'm going to be clicking on this one. And what that does is it basically adds the emoji. I just think it's a nice touch and it makes it more lively. So I'll do this for all of my habits. So I'm continuing to add more habits. You can have more or less, but I am just going to keep it quite straightforward for this example. Okay, now I'm quite happy with the number of habits that I've added. Now I'm going to move on to the formatting for the columns with the dates on the top. I am just going to make them a lot more smaller. We don't need them to take up so much space because we're going to put checkboxes in them. So I am continuing to do the same thing for all of my columns with numbers over here. Okay, now that the date section don't take up so much space, we're going to put checkboxes in them. So to do that, I'm coming here. I'm selecting these boxes over here. And then I am going to go to insert. So insert will be on the top left bar of your screen. You're going to click on that and then click on checkboxes. So what it will do is it will apply checkboxes to selected cells. And there we have it. Another thing you can do is, for example, you can format this date section a tiny bit better. To do that, you're going to select all your dates. You're going to go to the alignment section over here. I always like to center align it like that. Okay, so let's now add the formula that will count all the checkboxes together. So I'm going to go to the column for total. We'll zoom in a bit so you can also see what I'm doing. And this will be the formula that I am using. So first of all, I will do equals. Then you're going to say count if, so this one over here, click on that. You're going to say B2. So the yellow part here basically shows you what you have selected in your formula. So B2 over here, as you can see. You can also see the formula that you're writing over here. So you can always take that as a reference, but I'm going back here. I'm adding a colon. Then I'm going to say AF2. So it will select this line over here. Again, I'm following the yellow highlight to make sure that I'm not making any mistakes. Then I'm going to add a comma, and then I'm going to write true. Then all you have to do is to close the parentheses, and you're going to hit on enter. So now it will basically count all the boxes that are checked. So as you can see, I checked 3 boxes over here. The total is now 3. If I check 4, it will be 4. If I check none, it will be 0. So that's the overall idea. I'm going to zoom out a bit again, and I will show you one super useful hack. Which is to click on your formula, so the cell with the formula, and when you hover your mouse over the blue box, what you will see is this plus icon. Just take it and drag it down along the line like that, and formula that is applied to this cell will be applied to these ones as well. All right, now I am going to add the times of the day. So you can skip this part actually, but to be honest, this personally has helped me massively in creating a routine, and it feels less overwhelming and I feel like I can manage it better. So I'll go with something super simple. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say morning, day, and evening. Add emojis, going to insert emoji, gonna search for sun. Again, continuing to adding emojis. So this way, by this like very easy, simple separation, I can see the habits I need to focus on for each time of the day. Let me now add a bit of formatting to this. So add a bit of formatting. So I'm selecting this and then I'm gonna copy it over here like that. I'm continuing to do the same thing. Just like that. And then I'm going to delete these 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this entire line like that. I am going to go to this section over here, merge cells, and I'm going to click on that. I'll do the same thing for this one over here as well. And lastly, this one. But before I dive into fully customizing the text, I'll freeze this column over here, so it doesn't move and bother me when I'm working over this side of my table. So to do that, I am selecting this column over here. You can even just do this little movement. Just click on A. It will automatically select everything in this column. Go to View. Then you're going to go to Freeze. And then you're going to select up to column A. So now if I make any type of movement over here, this will stay as it is and it won't move and bother me. So now that that's out of the way, I am going back to the time of the day over here. And what I'm going to do is I am first going to center align them over here like that. I am going to make this bold. You can make this italic. You can change the color, whatever you want really. I am also going to add a fill color to it. I usually like to go with like purple type of colors, so I think I'm just gonna go with this one. You can again come here and kind of like change the color of the text as well, so maybe something like that. And once I'm happy with like the general formatting, I am gonna go to font section. Here you'll have bunch of options. I usually like to go for like a, I don't know, a girly one, but it's really up to you. You can select whatever you want, whatever works the best for you. And now I'm going to do the same thing for here. I am going to center align my month. I am going to add a color to it. Actually, I want this entire line to be the same color, so I'll do that first. Going to fill color, and I think I'm going to make this like a different type of purple, like this one. font perhaps. I'll again enlarge this like that. Go to fonts, find a font that I like. Doing the same thing for over here, taking the arrow and pulling it to the right side so everything fits perfectly like that. Now I am selecting all my habits as well as all the check boxes, and I'm thinking maybe I can add like a very soft color for this one. So I'm again going to fill color here. I think I'm gonna go with this blue over here. Let's see how that looks like. It doesn't look that bad, but it's not my favorite, so I am gonna change this. And for example, I like this one over here, but it is a bit too dark for my liking. So I am gonna kind of play around with the undertone of this pinkish reddish color. So when you select a color and then go to this at a custom color section, you can play around with the undertone. So for example, I like this pinkish color over here. I think it can go well with my team. And yes, I think it's quite well. I like it a lot. So you can customize this in any way you want. Okay, I've further customized this. I kind of changed the font of everything. I've made a lot of things bold, and now I'm happy with how it looks. So what I'm gonna do now is I am first gonna unfreeze this. I am again selecting my column, going to view, going to freeze, and then I'm going to select no column. So this kind of takes away the freeze. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to select this entire line over here, this row. And what I'm going to do is I am going to drag it and drop it to the beginning of my habits list, just like that. And as you can see, I forgot to do this, but add the filling as well so it looks good. So I'm again saying merge cells. So I'm doing the same thing. I am gonna select this part over here. I'm basically gonna click on this and drop it to the point that I want to place it, just like that. And now I am gonna add the relevant filling to this, and I'm gonna select this section over here like that and merge cells. So like that. Now I'll do the same thing for evening. I'm now kind of increasing the font size and making further adjustments. Okay, now that I'm happy with how my table looks like and it's fully customized, I'm going to be adding borders. So I'm going to click on this line, for instance, and to add borders to it, you're going to be clicking on this icon over here. Here you'll have a lot of options. You can add all borders, just inner borders. Here you can also kind of change the border color. So to give you an example, I selected outer border with purple coloring. So let's see how that looks like. It looks like this. I like this very much, so I'll apply the same thing to other parts of the day. Now I'm selecting this part over here, going to borders again, and what I'm gonna do is I am gonna say inner borders, so it will add this line over here, and I'll also gonna add a left border so it is nicely separated. I'll do the same thing for the right border as well, and I'll even add a bottom border, just like that. Now I'm adding a bottom border to the entire thing. I'm going to be adding borders to my habits as well, but I'm going to make this a different color. Perhaps I can make this a dark gray color so it kind of is separated from the purple one, and I'm just going to select outer borders like that. Then I'm selecting it again and I am saying add horizontal borders. So I'm continuing adding horizontal borders to all of my habits like that. Okay, now that I'm happy with how my habit tracker looks like, I'm going to zoom out a tiny bit so you can see it better, and I'm going to go to goals. So here I will add goals, meaning the amount of time that I am hoping to achieve this habit, to do this habit. So drinking a glass of water for a month, I would say 31. I want to drink water every single day. For meditating, I would say I want to be doing this 25 times a month. So 25 times a month. And I'll basically continue to do the same thing until all the goals are nicely filled in. I would typically do this at the beginning of the month. So now that I've filled in my goals section, I will basically do a tiny bit more
formatting. For example, I am basically enlarging the font, and yes, there we have it. We have our habit tracker. This is how I would usually go with. It's super simple, efficient, and you can customize it in any way you want. So I gave the example of January. I know we're not in January, but the reason why is I want to show you how you can do this for the rest of the year. How you would literally do that is you would literally copy this table. You would right click on it, say copy, and over here on 13, A13, you would paste it. Then you can rename this to February, and you can continue to do the same thing until all 12 months are basically covered. And there you have it. That's how you can create a habit tracker in Google Sheets. This habit tracker is straightforward and a great start for habit tracking.